now I should be joined by Rachel and Marty of Very Hungry Nomads. How are you guys doing?
Sam. Hi, Sam, and everyone else watching. So I'm Marty from Slovakia.
I'm Rach from Australia. And together, yeah, like you said, Sam, we're known as the Very Hungry Nomads.
And where are you guys joining us from?
So we're currently in Tunisia.
Okay. And this is, you're near one of your last countries.
So we have traveled to Tunisia before, but we came here for particular reasons, seeing more of the country. And also last week, we were finally able to reach a new country for us in the last 18 months. And then it was Libya. And essentially until last night, we thought that our next country was Israel, which has changed a little bit in 24 hours, but
yes, it does.
Hey, that's the travel these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's been changed by the pandemic, and it's completely turned the world upside down and stopped everything that we wanted to do.
Yeah.
I'll pass it over to you guys, and I'll let you guys lead the next panel.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Sam.
Of course.
Alrighty, everyone. So our next panel, we are inviting a lot of our travelers here that are on the mission and on the journey to see the 193, the official UN list of countries. Everyone has a different number, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
But either way, it's a really interesting a club of people. And I think the journey is just really unique for each one of us. So let's welcome them all in and see what they've got to say. We would like to talk a little bit more about, hey Mike. How you
Hello,
doing?
you guys.
Good.
Nice to see you.
Hey,
Rick.
Rick.
Rick. Welcome. And we've got a few more coming in. Guillaume. Hello. How you doing?
Hello.
How
are you?
Really
Hello.
well.
And of course, Igor here.
Welcome.
And we have Mete. Hello, Mete.
Hi.
Nice to see you. And Alexander.
Alexander.
How you doing?
Hi.
Yeah, and we've got our close friend Dan loading, coming in hot from somewhere. So anyway, everyone, welcome. Welcome to this group. We're really excited to chat to you about this crazy journey that at some point, we all started.
Exactly. So I think we're going to chat about a few things today with you guys about reaching 193. It's a pretty big goal. And I wanted to chat to you guys about when was the exact point that you decided that you wanted to go for it all and reach 193. Where were you and when did it occur? I think for us, when we hit 100 countries, we kind of thought, well, why not try and do them all? There wasn't so many women on the list at that time, so we wanted to diversify. So Mete, let's start with you. At what point did you decide, let's go for 193?
I decided also at reaching 100. I was standing next to the statue of Christopher Columbus, getting ready to celebrate with rum and a cigar. I was there with all of my 3 children, and I think that was the point where I thought, well, this might actually be possible. I've traveled my whole life. I've traveled with my kids. I've traveled with my parents my entire life. So that's it. That's sort of the lifestyle. But setting my mind to 193, that was at that point, I think.
Fantastic. So very similar to us. What about you, Loic? When did you decide to chase 193?
Well, a bit of a cliche as well, I gotta say. A bit like you guys and a bit like Mete. I just started one after the other, and then all of a sudden, well, oh man, I'm so close to 100, and then why not keep going? So it is kind of a similar story, I guess, just like you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. We always think about that doing the first 100 countries. Hey, Alvaro, how you doing? The first 100 countries, we personally think that it's actually really easy to reach because you can usually go to very accessible countries. There's not many visa hassles. It really comes to the final probably 50 or some of the really tricky ones.
Yeah.
Some of the hardest countries. And I think we would all agree that we all have a different challenges and different hard countries to get to. So let's talk about the hardest countries that you might have visited in the past or the ones that you have still ahead of you. Let's start maybe with Rick.
Hey now, greetings from Boston, everybody. So I'm at 145, so I think that means I have 48 left. I've got a couple of challenging ones left. I have one country left in Asia. That's Turkmenistan. I've actually been denied the visa twice, so I guess that's a bit of a challenge for me. So I'll be trying for a third time in the near future. Yeah, and then I've got some countries like Libya and Haiti still left as well. So some great countries still left to visit.
Yeah, some good ones.
Fantastic. Igor, tell us about your most challenging countries so far, or even have left.
I was in Iran, so I had to apply the visa to go to Uzbekistan first. This was 10 years ago. So to apply the visa to Uzbekistan took me around 10 days in Iran. And then when I got the visa of Uzbekistan, then I applied my Turkmenistan visa, which took as well around 10 days. So yes, this was because it was only 5 days. That's kind of transit visa. So I guess Turkmenistan was the most difficult visa to take it. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be definitely hard. It's interesting how visas do change. Can we hear from Alexander? I can see that he's got a nice outside setting. Alexander, hardest country for you to visit?
Yeah, actually, I was happy to be, because most of my travels, they were done for my job. So I only started to think about just NOMADMANIA, like when I visited like 90 plus countries. So the hardest was probably Afghanistan, just before Taliban, Syria, before the war, Iran, and a few African countries like Sierra Leone, like Guinea, but it's probably not very difficult. Yeah, that's probably the hardest countries. So, but that's it.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, thank you. And can we hear from Guilherme as well? Hardest country?
I traveled 2 years non-stop from 2009 to 2011. At the time, I thought it was much harder to get the visas. Like Igor said, like for Central Asia, we have to apply to many places that now we don't need a visa. Of course, it depends of the passport. But I was lucky that at this time, 10 years ago, I visited places like Yemen, Thailand, Central Asia. So it is that I thought it would be harder, but now I see that it's easier. But other places, same. I think it's getting easier to travel. So on West Africa, I managed to get the visa in Tente. So usually we think it's hard, but once we think, oh, it was not that bad. So I think it's getting easier and easier with the past years.
That's great to hear that you have such a positive outlook. I think that's also great because we all here together to talk about positive traveler, but we've got about a minute or so left before I hand back to Sam. So I'm just going to ask you individually, because we don't like to talk about the numbers, but everyone wants to have the number. How many countries do you have left to complete your journey to visit every country, whether it's 193, 195, 197? We won't hold it against you. So let's just go one by one. Mette, how many are you missing?
I am missing 21 countries, and I am doing it with a sort of self-proclaimed golf handicap of dimensions, because I've decided to travel as much as humanly possible with my 3 children, and they're between 13 and 20 years old, and they've traveled between 80 and 90 countries each. So a lot of the times when I travel to a new country, I don't buy one ticket, but 2, 3, or 4. That's sort of making it slightly more difficult also for security, but it's also making it so incredibly rewarding. So I think that is by far worth it.
Yeah, fantastic. Really inspiring, Mette, that you travel with your children. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Alexander,
how many
countries?
Officially for NOMADMANIA, 88 countries I still need to visit. Currently it's 105, but I've been to slightly more countries, but it was on confidential trips related to my job, so I cannot disclose the information within the next 10 years. So okay. Obviously, if we count these countries, it probably will be 15 countries more. But otherwise, for the countries I can prove is 105.
Of course, we understand. Igor, how about you?
It's missing 37, but I still think it's gonna take a while to visit all of them because, of course, I want to visit all the 37 out of 93, 193, but it will take a while because I'm not. My priority is not to visit the country like and stick, tick. No, so I will spend 1 month in Mexico. So I'll go there again. I visit a lot of countries that I've been already. So it will take a while to finish them.
Yes, absolutely. Alrighty, guys, we will have to go to Sam soon. But before we go, can we at least, I know Rick mentioned he's got 40 left. So can we at least hear from Loic how many countries to finish?
From 193, so still have a few easy ones, which is good. But I kind of like having so many because you kind of feel like there's still a lot to be seen. So I take it as a positive note. Maybe when I get really close, I'll get a bit nervous, but so far, yeah, fantastic.
It's all about positivity in this segment. So, and then the last one, we have
Exactly.
Guilherme to hear your final country count.
How many?
Well, I was happy to be part of this select group because still a lot of countries, about like 60 countries, more than 60 countries. For me, it's a lifetime goal. So it's not something that I want to do in the next 10 years. I'm a father of 2 now. So I'm revisiting a lot of countries with them. And I was lucky that, like I said, I visit most of the unrecognized nations before. So I kind of did the other way around. So I can go to easy one. Like during pandemic, I visited Greece that I didn't visit Greece before and other places. So it's fun. For me, it's fun, and it's fun to travel with kids now. So a different moment of my life.
Amazing. I think for all of us, it's always a lifelong journey, even after we've seen all of them. And there's plenty of countries that, it's nice to look forward to. The new country, Daniel, who was trying to join. I think he's just under 10 now, but he's got some internet difficulties, but we're just happy to answer that for him. But I think
for now, I think we're going to hand it back to Sam, and Sam, you can take it from here.